Next on Animal Attractions TV. Can a shy and skittish shelter dog recover and adjust to life in his new home? Did this British cat inspire a literary masterpiece? And a story of hope rises from the ashes for one lucky dog. So stay tuned, pet lovers. It's all starting right now.
Are you one of the millions of people expecting a new member of the family? The furry kind with 4 paws and a face that melts your heart? In other words, are you getting a puppy? Well, we're here to help with a series of tips and techniques to guide you both through your puppy's first 12 months. Your puppy's first 12 months is a precious time in that it goes by so quickly, but it's also a critical time in that during these developmental stages, there's so much you can do to set your puppy up for success. You may wonder, what happened to that cute little ball of fur that just lived to please me? Well, he's entered a new stage of development where he's challenging his environment and you. Basically, with puppy problems, there are usually 2 main issues. 1, he's looking for his leader, and if you don't step up, he will step up and take over that role. And 2, puppies behaving badly are simply behaving naturally for puppies, and we often reinforce these behaviors without even realizing it. For example, your puppy runs from you and you chase him. You've just taught him that running from you is fun, and he always wins. So what can you do at such an early stage in your puppy's development? Well, some potential challenges are easier to deal with than you might think. One dangerous problem is door darting. That's where the door opens and your puppy is gone in a flash. Now, I've already shared with you the command of sit, stay. You should be practicing this every day throughout the day, as this is a command that helps with many behavioral problems. So what you do is hold the treat over her head and say, sit, good girl. Very, very good. Another critical command is look at me. Take the treat and hold it up to your face and say, look at me. Good girl. Scout here is a reminder that you need to pick your breed carefully. Beagles, for example, are constantly led by their nose, so they can be difficult to keep focused and trained. So you need to be consistent and patient. When your puppy knows sit and look at me, you can use these commands around door darting. But if he doesn't know them, here's what you need to do to stop this dangerous behavior right away. Until your puppy's trained, you should always have them on a leash. You can actually tie the leash to you, that way they'll follow you from room to room and they'll see you as the leader. The next step is to desensitize them to the door. Open the door slightly and then work on look at me. Scout, look at me. Look at me. Good girl. Good girl. Then the next step is to walk them very calmly back and forth in front of the open door. Come on, girly girl. Here we go. Good girl. Good girl. And then the next step is to claim the door. Your puppy needs to know that he has to get permission to go in or out of the door, and the person always goes first. If your puppy knows sit, stay, then have them sit. If they don't, that's all right. Just hold them back and say, wait, then come. Good. Walk out a few steps and then repeat as you go back in. Wait, come. Good puppy. And that's all there is to it. Practice this 100% of the time and never let it slide. Often there are children in the family with puppies, and I recommend teaching your children to step up as pack leaders too. So what we need to do first is use very calm and confident energy. So when your dog looks to you, they'll also be calm and confident. Let them walk with you on your left with the dog and hold the leash. And we're going to have the leash together. And I want you to feel how I'm walking with the dog. Do you feel that? We're just directing her movements. Tell them to follow you in a calm manner, like follow the leader. If she stops, you know what you do? You just keep on walking, okay? Because she's kind of protesting there, saying, okay, I've walked enough, that's all I want to do. But now do you see how she just started right back up again? And now she wants to run, you know what you do? You keep walking at the exact pace that you want to go. You are the leader. Tell them as they hold the leash to feel what you do. And practice with your children. and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with knowing that you're all on your way to happier and safer days. Good puppy.
Just like with people, sometimes getting healthy snacks into your pet's diet can be tricky. So here's an inexpensive, easy to make frozen dog snack I think you're gonna wanna try. Okay, so all the ingredients are out here. First, start off with 2 ounces of water. Gonna go right into this bowl. Then 1 banana, chop that up into about, 6, 8 slices. Put that into the bowl. And then finish up with 4 ounces of yogurt. Then, this is your base. Come here and just mix it and mash it all up. Go at it. Really work it out. That looking good. Nice consistency, even throughout. That's about it. Get that back into the measuring cup and just pour that into the ice tray. All the way. And then just slide that into the freezer overnight, and voila, tomorrow you have a perfect snack for your dog, and you might want to try it too. It's pretty good. Just keep in mind that as a general rule, that your pet's intake of treats should only be about 10% of their total food for the day. And as always, make sure to contact your veterinarian before introducing anything new to your pet's diet. This tasty frozen treat, I'm sure your pet is gonna love, especially during those dog days of summer. Huh? All right. All right.
All across America, there are millions of lost, abandoned, and mistreated animals being held in local shelters. Many of them could find loving and caring homes, but because of the limited space and the overwhelming numbers of animals taken in, there's not much time left for them. Coach Ronald White believes that professional training can help make some of these dogs more adoptable, and he wants to make sure there's a happy ending to these shelter stories.
The rescue shelter called me and they said they had a very shy dog down there at the rescue, and they wanted to see can I do anything with the dog.
Barkley was the last of 6, and so with him, unfortunately, somebody's got to be picked last. The main reason I can see for him is because he did cower near the back of the cage.
And people would tell them, don't get the shy puppy.
Sadly, with nobody willing to give him a home, time was running out for Barkley.
Out of all the hundreds of animals that do come in, only about a third of them make it out without being euthanized. With that being said, we do try our best to go ahead and find each one of them an owner.
Well, when I first saw the little puppy, I noticed that he was nervous. And when I reached out to pet him, he would throw his head back like he didn't want to be bothered with people. And he was kind of nippy. Oh yeah, we can do something. We'll build his confidence up. But since he was only about 4 or 5 months old, we can take him out and take him and show him the real world and train him, and everything will be fine. Because the longer he's there, the less chances he has to being a normal dog.
Coach White takes the dogs to his home, which he calls boot camp, for 30 days of training to transform them into desirable family pets.
When the dog is this young and he's been where he's been at, it's a totally different kind of training. He needs plenty of attention and love, and he needs to be around people. He's only been one place his whole life, and it's always been that shelter. So everything is new to him. The surroundings different, the smell is even different.
What is it, huh?
When I got him in the house, I put him in a little crate, because I know that's what he's used to. After we got him used to being in the crate, and I took him out, and I introduced him to some toys. And I started messing with him, playing with him. We would squeeze one of the toys, or throw one of the toys, see what he'd run from it. Because I knew he wasn't used to it. He did great, interacting, started messing with the toys, even though he wasn't used to that. Well, when you have a shy dog, like this dog, you have to build the dog's confidence up.
There we go.
Just walking him down the street on a road or at a park, rewarding, because we're building up his confidence.
I like it here. Do you like it here, huh? You smell that? Okay, come on.
Now it's time to take him through some obedience, because that also builds his confidence up too. For he'll know the sit, the down, the stay, the come here, it all comes together. Down, down, down. A shy dog, more than anything, needs a leader. Because he's happy with the leader. He needs somebody to follow. Sit, sit. I knew if he was gonna go to a home and everybody had the vacuum cleaner. So what I did, I put a treat on the vacuum cleaner.
Come here. Here, come here.
And I did it several times. Then I turned it on and I didn't move it to let him hear the noise. And then I turned it off and I put a treat on it. Then I turned it on and I moved it towards him. He ran from it, but I praised him. Then he started sniffing it. And then he got used to it. And I knew doing this every day, and then in a house that vacuums their home, he won't run up under a bed and hide. So I knew that he was doing good, and he was ready. I had a family in mind. They were married, and they have any kids. And they had a lot of love that they can give to this dog.
All right, there's your dog. Look at this.
And I knew that this dog right here would be ideal for them.
There's our new dog.
How you doing? Ronald, right? So what do you think about your puppy?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Coach called us and said that he had found a dog for us that fit our description, and he did have a couple of problems, and he said he could train him.
So when he first met the family, he went right up to him. They started to pet him. He didn't even duck away from him or anything. So are you ready to be trained?
Yes, sir.
Because if they're trained, then the dog is trained, the dog has a home for life. Stay, and just tell him. Then you go back to his side, and you tell him heel, hit your side. Tell him place when you turn. And tell him stop, sit, down, stay. Well, I spent a lot of time with Chandra. Just have him on your left side.
Okay.
There you go. Now just start walking and tell him heel. And once she got it, she had it. And the dog looked up at her and let her know she got it.
Stop.
Sit,
Sit.
down, pull straight down,
Down.
stay.
Stay.
I was letting them know that you can't let the dog have his way all the time, and you gotta keep the dog's confidence built up, and you can't let him sleep in the bed with you. You gotta keep him trained.
Now he'll sit in the bathroom with me while I blow dry my hair. It doesn't bother him, and he doesn't go hide when we vacuum.
You shouldn't give up on a shy dog. A shy dog is just like any other dog. They all need their confidence built up, and they need to be trained.
After this experience, I would say that a pound dog would be a good companion for anybody with the proper training.
There may be a perfect animal companion waiting for you right now. Visit your local shelter or humane society. You could be the author of the next chapter of their shelter stories.
Imagine being immortalized as one of the most fanciful characters and one of the most whimsical tales of all time. Clearly, it didn't take much imagination for Lewis Carroll to play on the distinctive features of the British Shorthair, creating the ever-grinning Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. And as the owners of this British yet very down-to-earth cat will tell you, their claim to literary fame hasn't gone to their heads.
Well, one of the things I love about the British Shorthair is that they're not a demanding pet. They don't bug you to pay attention to them. They sort of take you or leave you depending on what your mood is, but they're not really pushy cats. But they also are affectionate cats, but more in a reserved, standoffish kind of manner.
They need attention, obviously, but they don't need constant attention. They're wonderful for people that are on the go but want to come home to companionship.
Although it's easy to characterize the British Shorthair as a large cat, probably the best word to describe this breed is round. Even these 8-week-old kittens exhibit the characteristic roundness of the British Shorthair. From the soft, ball-shaped head, to the big, round eyes, to the large paws, and even the round-tipped tail.
But the most obvious trait of the British Shorthair is the typical round whisker pads, which create that built-in Cheshire cat smile.
The body of the cat should balance to the head. In other words, it's supposed to have a large head, a large body, again, soft and round, but on a very well-muscled cat. The coat on a British Shorthair is extremely dense. It is of one length, there's no undercoat. That's what gives it that plush look as well as feel. They literally have more hair per square inch than any other domestic cat.
The British Shorthair does require petting on a daily and frequent basis, but the grooming part is you can just run a fine-tooth comb through their coat once a week, which takes you about 30 seconds to do, and that's basically all that's required to maintain the coat on this cat. Well, this particular breed is very good with kids. They don't like the kids who come and grab them up, but if they're raised with kids, small children, from the time they're kittens, then they adapt very, very easily. They're their own person. They're British, remember, so they're a little bit, they're not going to jump up in your arms when you walk in the door, but they will wait for you. I have a male who loves to wait for me to get home every day, and he stands and waits for his scratch on the head. Well, I've had a lot of breeds of cats, but there's no cat that I love as much as the British Shorthair. This is a really special breed of cat, and one that I'm very fond of.
Do you have a little dog like Kiwi here that anytime she gets into something she shouldn't have and she eats it, no matter the amount, she gets an upset stomach? Usually when your pet has a sensitive stomach, it's because they got into the trash or something they shouldn't have. But did you know that some pets and even some breeds can be predisposed to having a sensitive stomach? Actually, nearly 5 million dogs and cats a year are taken to the vet for vomiting or diarrhea. If your pet is suffering from this, it's going to be important to keep your pet hydrated, and your veterinarian may want to withhold food for 24 hours. So, how do you know if your dog or cat has a sensitive stomach? Here's what to look for. Does your pet seem depressed? Won't eat food? May vomit or have diarrhea? If the symptoms persist, contact your veterinarian. She may determine that your pet is predisposed to having a sensitive stomach. In that case, she may recommend that you feed your pet a wellness food with high-quality ingredients and fiber for good nutrient absorption and nice, gentle digestion. If it's something more serious than that, your pet may need a therapeutic food that'll be available from her. Your veterinarian will also tell you how to avoid the common causes of sensitive stomach. Things like eating items not on your pet's diet and not having a consistent pet food. And even if you don't feed your pet table scraps, those clever pets will take whatever they find. People food is usually higher in fat or spicier and may contribute to your pet's upset stomach. Also, some plants are harmful to your pet and can lead to trouble for the digestive tract. Kiwi here is lucky enough to have wonderful owners who make certain she has the best of everything, including nutrition precisely formulated for her sensitive stomach. That means she's feeling a whole lot better. Right, Kiwi?
You know, I'm really not a necktie kind of guy, but today I am, and the reason why, we're talking about how to move your injured pet. Now, an injured pet is unpredictable, regardless of its normal personality. When a pet is in pain, it's gonna act out of instinct and can't be held responsible for its actions. So I'm gonna show you a little trick here, okay? When you're trying to transport him to the veterinarian, it's important to keep its mouth shut so it doesn't nip or bite. So I want you to make a loop right around the nose, like such, wrap behind the ears, a little tight back here, little knot, voila. Okay, no biting, all right? Now, if your pet is unable to walk or you're not sure, a blanket can be used as a transport device. Gently lift the pet onto the blanket and grip the edges of the blanket to lift and place the pet in the vehicle. Covering your pet is important to prevent heat loss and can create a calming effect. Smaller pets can be transported in a carrier or a box with a lid, making sure the holes are large enough for the air to flow with adequate breathing. Of course, try to call your emergency veterinarian right away. The more details you can share with them, the better. Like how long it's gonna actually take you to get to the clinic. This is gonna allow your pet to have the best possible chance for the best possible outcome. Isn't that right, Joe?
No one captures the spirit of our pets like artist Ron Burns. You can't help but smile or even laugh out loud. Like, don't you just love this one? It's titled Love at the Wheel. It's adorable. We're here enjoying this presentation of Ron Burns' artwork at R. Roberts Gallery for a very special reason. And it's this painting right here. Or rather, it's the story behind this painting. This is Lucky. He's one of the millions of rescued pets that finds his way into our hearts and homes every year. He came from one of the oldest shelters in the United States, the Jacksonville Humane Society, and they've been protecting animals since the late 1800s. But one recent night, in early spring, at this safe haven, something went terribly wrong. This is Lucky's courageous story.
We got the call, it was in the middle of the night, and when the first truck arrived, they found the building 50% engulfed in fire. This was a 2-alarm fire. Fire was probably shooting 30 or 40 feet out of the top of the building when we got there. The fire apparently started in one area and ran straight to the attic, so a lot of the fire was in the overhead. And probably 70 or 80 people had to respond from multiple stations all over the city. While some of our guys, in most cases, would be fighting fire and others are earmarked to search and rescue for occupants, well, that same principle is how we operated in this mode. And while some of the guys were fighting fire, others were going through and unlocking the cages and getting the animals out. It's kind of a simultaneous effort. One group holds the fire back while the others make their search and pull animals out.
Of course, the first thing we're concerned about is people. I mean, that's our first and foremost concern. But when it was clearly obvious that there was no people in the building, then you just turned to start opening the cages and letting as many animals out as we could. So we just proceeded to open cages and kept going until the absolute latest, last time when the chief said, hey, everybody's got to come out.
It took over an hour to put the fire out. I get the impression it was 200 or 300 animals were in the building. And I don't know the total number, but I got the impression that they lost 50 to 100, but yet we saved 200 or 300. So it was remarkable, and he lived at all, to be totally honest with you. It was because it was already that far gone when we got there.
After the fire was out, we went in to basically do what we call overhaul, put out little spot fires and just check and make sure, do a last once over and make sure there's nothing else inside. We really didn't expect to find anything.
And there were some animals that actually, for some miraculous reason, after the fire was over, there were several animals that were found under debris that were alive that we have no idea how they were alive because they were right next to animals that perished. Can't explain it.
Josh Miller was one room up from me, and he said something just caught the corner of his eye in this little cage and couldn't really see anything because a big piece of ceiling had come down on top of it. And he pulled some of that ceiling away, and there was this dog up to his belly, a little puppy up to his belly in water because the rooms basically had turned into pools because the water couldn't escape.
One of the guys at the station, I didn't even know what happened until afterwards, grabbed up some little dog and just threw it up in the cab of the truck, and when the fire was over, you see a dog hanging out the window of a fire truck, and I thought, well, how did he get there, and it was, they just scoop them up, throw them in the window as they're running by,
When he handed him off to the vet, he just said, this is gonna be a station dog, this is a lucky dog, so we adopted him.
As a rule, we don't really have animals living in fire stations for obvious reasons. There's liability and all kinds of things that go on. But what ended up happening in this case is these guys were there. They felt like they were kind of attached to them. They felt like we owed them, those animals, the benefit of the doubt for a home because their home was gone. One of them actually came to live here at the fire station.
Well, Lucky, he's not what you see in the movies or anything like that. I mean, he stays here at the station for the most part. If he's in the truck and we're taking him to the pet store or to the vet or something, and we get a call, sure, he rides in the truck with us, you know. I mean, we leave him in the truck with the doors closed and the AC on when we're at the call, of course. You know, other than that, we usually tend to leave him at the station, and he does pretty well. He likes to sit in the recliners. He acts like a tanker man. Tanker man just, he never has any calls, so he sits at the station all the time watching TV, you know. He's got to be the luckiest dog in the world. I mean, every day he's got 9 guys looking out for him, loving him, and caring for him. So, I mean, what else could a dog ask for? There's a whole bunch of guys here that just feel lucky to have him, too. It's always nice when you come back from a call or you know, you see something that's kind of got you down, and, you know, you come back in the station and there's the dog, you know, licking your face or, you know, bouncing up in your lap. And it just, you know, sometimes it just takes the little things just to lift your spirits up a little.
And it's been good. I tend to believe in the long term he's probably going to end up as a personal pet to one of these. That's me. All right, y'all. Let's go. Load up.
If you'd like to learn more about Lucky and how his portrait by artist Ron Burns benefits the rebuilding of the Jacksonville Humane Society, or anything else you've seen here today, log on to our website at animalattractionstv.com. I'm Megan Blake, and for all of us here, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.